When I talk to a lot of senior people on how it's very important to build their brand, they start associating it with having the influencer energy. But that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about building your brand, becoming the key person of influence. And if you want to know more about it, do check out Daniel Priestley's book with the same name. It was written 15, 16 years back and still holds so true. Now, when we're talking about building a brand, we don't want to be talking about sharing personal life details. So I thought in today's video, let me address the most common hesitations people have and then give you some of the principles which can get you going to build your own brand. I'll tell you the 5 hesitations I hear from 99% people I talk to about brand building. First, I don't like to talk about myself, or I find talking about myself very awkward. My work should speak for itself. Third is I don't have anything extraordinary to share. Fourth, what would my friends, family, co-workers, ex-bosses, bosses think about me? And the last one is I just don't have the time for it. If you relate to either of these hesitations, like the other 99%, then this video is absolutely for you. Hi, my name is Shub Faujdar. I'm a Singapore-based job search strategist and career coach and a former corporate recruiter. I'm also a LinkedIn top voice, so do follow me there. I share job search and career development insights almost on a daily basis. I have also started my public Instagram channel recently, so please do follow me there. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We release 2 videos every week, one nano tip every Tuesday, less than 2 minutes, and one longer deep dive. So let's start with our branding principles, which can get you moving. Now, the hesitations I shared with you, and I'm going to repeat them in case you've forgotten. One is I find talking about myself very awkward. 2, my work should speak for itself. 3, I don't have anything extraordinary to share. 4, what would others think about me? 5, I don't have the time. Most people have these hesitations. I had the exact same hesitations when I decided to start my business 10 years back. And these principles basically helped me to get out of this hesitation. And then I used and shared these principles with a lot of my clients to get them to start building their brand as well. And building brand helped them not only with getting their next role, but also doing well in their careers, getting promotions, being key person of influence for their particular function in their industry, and have a thriving career. So the first principle I wanted to tell you, and that was the starting point for my branding journey. You are doing a disservice if people who need you don't know about you. I'm going to repeat again. You are doing a disservice if people who need you don't know about you. And this is what exactly my business coach shared with me when I was giving him all the reasons of how I'm shy, how I'm introvert. I find talking about myself very awkward. And he said, imagine there's a person who's been struggling to get a job. You have all this knowledge, you have all these steps which can get them to find their next role much faster rather than being stuck in a job search for years. And now think that they are going to miss out on this opportunity only because you were too shy to share about yourself. You're doing a massive disservice to whoever needs you if you don't let them know about your existence. And that got me moving. And it applies very well in your companies as well. If you have the skill and your organization needs those skills, they should know about it. So think of branding not from the lens of self-focus, but from the lens of service focus. How can my skills be of service to others? My experience be of service to others? My insights be of service to others? And that leads us very nicely to our second principle, which is don't chase the spotlight, be the spotlight. What I mean by that, instead of focusing everything on you, I'm this, I'm that, I did this, I did that, I'm amazing, I'm a humble bragger, I'm delighted, I'm happy, I'm ma. You talk about other things. So you talk about any insights about your industry, any steps which people can use, any pain points which a lot of people are relating to you, any new developments, any tools people should be using. You can share career stories of other people, client success stories, stories of mentors, your story where somebody else was helpful. So you are constantly putting the spotlight on someone or something else. And I was listening to a recent podcast and I heard this thing. Instead of doing a self promotion, look at an idea promotion. So you're not talking about yourself here. You are becoming the spotlight and putting the spotlight on others. And you know what? That mind reframe really removes the cringe to what people consider they need to do to build a big brand. The third principle is consistency over intensity. Look, when I work with clients and for my existing clients and people who got job search through me, there is a service we provide, which is to build their LinkedIn brand. And it's a done for you service, uh, not accessible if you're not a client of mine. So for that particular service, whenever I start working with people and they're like, oh, so I should now be posting once every day or 3, 4 times a week. And I always tell them, no, you don't want to do that. You want to start with one post bi-weekly. And if you're consistent in that for 2, 3 times, then we move to once weekly. And then we can increase based on how you're finding it, how it's being received in your target audience, in your organization, with your manager, etc. So it's always consistency over intensity. You don't have to go from 0 to 100. Start 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40. If you've never done anything for your brand, and when I talk about brand, it's not only just LinkedIn branding or social media branding, but also in your organization. If you've been the quiet one who doesn't share ideas, start with speaking up in meetings. Maybe by not sharing the idea, if you're very conscious, you can start by asking one question in every meeting. Take the very next step, the smallest step, focus on that for a while, and then you can build up on the momentum. Success breeds success. So build on the success of your current level, and then you can move to even higher level. The fourth principle to remind you, and this is something you experience only after you have been consistent in building your brand. First, they ask you why you do it, and then they ask you how you do it. And this is for all my people who are worried about what will others say about me. Look, people will always ask you a question. The nature of that question changes. And I've experienced that too. When I started posting on LinkedIn, I had some very close friends who would make snarky remarks. They'd be like, oh, you're now going to be like an influencer. Oh my God, now we'll be seeing you all over. And then after they saw the kind of success I was getting, they started asking, oh, that's pretty cool, what you've been able to build. So proud of you. Can you also give us some tips on how I can do that? And you know what? I think that's a very, very powerful moment in someone's life to be able to inspire change in other people's thinking without even telling them that they should be changing it. You've got that power. So remember, if they're asking you why you're doing it, it's only momentary. The moment you start being consistent with it and start seeing the opportunities which building your brand gives you, people are going to ask you how you are doing it. And that's the beauty of it. And the last one I want to tell you is prolific over perfect. So you want to put yourself out as much as possible instead of waiting that you will only do it when you have all the knowledge, when you are perfect, when you are an expert. So, you know what a lot of people believe? If this is no knowledge in a particular topic and this is 100, you're expert, you change everything in the industry. I need to be here to start building my brand. But that's not the truth. You want to start building the moment you've left zero. You could talk about your learning experience. And as you start progressing, there's a group here who will benefit immensely from your sharing, from your value adding. In fact, for this group, the experts' opinion, questions, replies, suggestions don't make a lot of sense because it's too far out for them. So you want to start, and then as you are progressing along in your journey of learning about that particular topic, you will see the quality of your content changes. I mean, I have this thing where I look at my content from even 1 year back and I'm like, oh my God, that was so bad. But I pat my back right up there because it means I've progressed. It means I've learned a lot of things in this 1 year. And that to me is a very, very good sign. So don't wait to be perfect before you start putting yourself out there. It's a journey. And you know what? People appreciate when they are part of your journey. You don't have to become successful to start sharing your valuable insights already. So I hope with these principles, I've addressed some of your hesitations and you would start focusing on your brand building. There are a lot of videos, ton of content, which we'll tag here for you to follow to get that first step for your brand building journey. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. Until next week, all the best for your job search.